Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. There is a thing called the calm before the storm. The calm before the storm. And I will tell you, there is no calm happening on the left with the Democrats. They are in a sheer panic. Publius Syrus said, anyone can hold the helm when the sea is calm. See, Barack Obama held the helm, and I'm not going to say it was calm per se, but it was calm in comparison. Oh, and you say in comparison to what? In comparison to 9/11 attacks under George Bush, an economy that, the stock market went down to 7,000, and we had security issues that we didn't know how to deal with. Everything leading up to that, from Bush inheriting what he inherited from Clinton, which, by the way, was a good economy because of the Newt Gingrich Congress. But outside of that, he inherited a mess. Terrorism on the rise. I've given you guys the statistics. By the year 2000, we stopped having terror attacks by the dozens in that decade to having thousands per year. Suddenly, the world was in a really chaos. And it culminated with those idiot Muslims flying those planes into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, and boom, game on. And so Bush put a lot of energy into that. I'm not excusing his, lack of fiscal responsibility or anything, because I'm telling you, I look back on Bush and go, he was a bad president. He chose bad people. He chose rhinos, and he really put leftism on steroids, believe it or not. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how that occurred. It's that it occurred. And what happened then is we get Obama. And everybody felt like the seas were, things were going to calm down. We would be able to get the economy in check. Well, we did. He spent $10 trillion to get an economy moving that had spent it was $10 trillion in debt when he got it. So he doubled that. He increased the deficit. Every year. By mega billions of dollars. Trade went, our trade policy stunk. Why? Because Barack Obama just thought he was on calm seas. He kept the same policies. He didn't do anything to get China in check, to get Mexico in check, to get Canada in check, Japan, all these countries that are feasting off of our economy. He did nothing to get them in check. This guy did more to essentially make America have to fight decades of wars than any president probably in history. Who sells your mortal enemy your uranium? Who allows that to happen? Who sends billions of dollars to a country who's trying to build a nuclear weapon, who has essentially said, we're doing this so we can wipe you out? Who does this? A person who sees what he's got and says, you know what, these are calm seas. I'm gonna implement things to crush this economy. Anybody else would have come in here and said, holy cow, George Bush has exploded the deficit. He's exploded the debt. We are less safe today, even with Homeland Security. Oh, by the way, we've got the potential for this what do they call it, the Patriot Act, to spy on Americans. But what did Obama do? No, I'm going to take advantage of this stuff. He started this, what do you call it, the civilian army that was going to be bigger than the regular military. Do you know that still exists? I think they call it the CNSF. So I'll look it up just to make sure, but it's something along those lines. It still exists to this day. We're still funding that nonsense. We're going to put a petition to President Trump to drop that immediately, to get rid of it. We don't need a civilian army bigger than our military. We have the National Guard. We have militias. And despite what the left tells you, these men and women out there who are willing to take up arms and protect America, you better be glad they exist. You better be glad they're out there. Those old corn-fed white boys with two teeth are willing to fight and give their lives for you. And you know what Hollywood does? You know what the DC crowd does? These jet setters, these East and West Coast people do? They ridicule these folks. They ridicule the Midwesterners who will gladly face any enemy, foreign or domestic, without even knowing what a cocktail sipping, weenie roasting leftist looks like. That's what I'm talking about. You people that I absolutely admire, the type of people that I grew up with. Country boys. What's this in my mouth? Making me talk funny. Yeah, so what we're going to teach you today, and I think what I want to focus on is calm. Now, the ancillary of that is panic. And the left are panic. Now, they want you to panic. They're saying things like, Trump's not going to build that wall. Did you hear that? Trump's not going to build that wall. So they're panicking. They want you to panic, but they're panicked because he is going to build that wall. Donald Trump had to come out and tweet, don't believe these clowns. He's saying, he made his tweet with something along the lines of, we're going to build the wall everywhere we can build a wall. We're not going to build a wall where there's a mountain. We're not going to build a wall where there's a huge river or something. I mean, I don't know all the different details, but he says, wherever we need that wall, we'll build it. And then we'll monitor anywhere, So he was saying, don't believe the hype. When I finish with you today, I'm telling you, if you don't believe in your heart that the left are so scared, they don't know how to act. Sure, they want a couple of races. Have them. Watch what happens in 2018 in November. Watch what happens. They can't even plan that far ahead. You're going, what are you talking about, Kevin? They can't. They are in such a panic. They've got issues with these FISA warrants. They've got issues with every scandal that Barack Obama said in his scandalous organization didn't occur. They've got issues trying to cover. I want you to think about how much work goes into covering up your lie. Whether it's Benghazi, whether it's the VA scandal, whether it's the IRS. I'm not saying Trump's looking at all these things. I'm saying in what they've asked us to investigate, what they've asked Robert Mueller to investigate, they've weaved a tangled web, a web of deceit, and now it's backfiring. And I'm going to share with you what my buddy Dan Bongino talked about, and also Sarah Carter, that came up last week, that's got the Democrats shaking in their baby seal leather boots, and rightfully so. They are finally about to be exposed. The Congress is calling for release of documents that are going to shake the foundation of the Democrat Party. You, my friends, can calm down. And there's a peace in that. There's a peace in understanding that you only fight for righteousness. I don't want to see the Democrat Party go down per se. But what I want to see is I want to see the crooks that have tried to steal an election, that have tried to negate you in every turn. Valid voter ID, driver's license to fake, they don't want valid voter ID, driver's license to Mexican nationals and anybody else, all in pursuit of a crooked ideology that's about to be exposed in ways you don't even imagine. Stay tuned.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.